Hello, the passing batch of 2020. So it feels odd that I'm speaking to myself, looking at the camera, and trying to imagine each one of you, the way you look, the way you behave, the way you giggle with each other, exchange glances with each other in the class. So I'm trying to recreate that in my mind as I speak, because it's such an odd moment. This is such an odd situation that I have to imagine you and I have to fix a certain image of the class in my mind in order to communicate these feelings that I have of good wishes, of well-being, of great future for all of you. And it's not easy. Um, but this is the kind of the world that we have got ourselves into. I think so. It's not none of y'all have contributed to this problem. It's all of us, including me perhaps, and all the other generations who have not done enough for the environment, which is why we are having this pandemic, and which is why we are having this odd so-called graduation ceremony where professors and faculty have been asked to speak. But despite that, I think so. When I think of all of you, and I'm trying to imagine all of you, uh, I have a happy feeling in my mind. I have a happy image of all of you in my mind. The way in which you all were able to be together, be combined. There's no separate. I mean, I'm not even able to see that there were kind of groups or there were kind of separations of individuals. So as a class, there's a collective image of happiness and most importantly, hard work. I think so as a batch, all of you have been able to push each other higher and higher, and which is something which is quite great about all of you coming together from different backgrounds in this class and stretching and pushing sometimes even faculty to to do our best in order to give you and to bring out your best. So, which is why it has been such a pleasure to be with you all, and I'm sure you all will do well. As you graduate, I would like to say a few words to you all where perhaps you would want to um, be inspired. Think of at this moment, think of not of the future and be anxious of what holds, what is the kind of what is it that which the future holds for you all. You know, the moment you think about the future, you feel anxious. You don't know where you're going in these times. You don't know what's going to happen. How is the profession going to be shaping up? How are you as an individual going to be affected by all that happenings around? But I would say rather than think of the future, think of the past. When you all joined the first year, for instance, did you all imagine that you will be passing out in 5 years' time in the way you have done? I don't think so, right? It looked like an equally difficult and arduous task. You had to tell yourself sometimes that, wow, when you look at the seniors, when you look at some people who are doing extremely well, think, am I going to do that? How difficult will that be? But that has come to pass, right? Think of another moment in your life, moment you joined, and I was part of your journey in the first year, having taught you precision architecture. It was a good time, but then moment. Remember the moment that you all were in Gaudongri, all of a sudden that for 8 days you had to go to a place which is unknown, which you have to be in a place and measure draw houses, measure draw places that you've not heard before, and you'll think, what is this about, like, right? And then you all worked extremely hard, did some very good drawings that we all of us are proud of, and kind of set a template for future measure drawings for the college to do, right? So from that moment, which kind of propelled you to work hard, I think so you carried that kind of momentum ahead in every class that you eventually attempted, and I could see that very clearly, be it in your in the studio where I taught some of your urban design, many of you took housing, or especially in the dissertation studio, all of you, each one of you were able to perform extremely well in that studio as well. And then now look at what you've done, what you've achieved in these times when fourth way down the line when your semester was suspended, you all didn't give up. You already had extremely interesting projects on your hand, and you'll continue to work without thinking, without worrying, and sometimes without really um, getting bogged down by the situation which is going on. And you've performed extremely well. The kind of work that you'll have produced for your final is very high quality, and one would not be able to distinguish that it has been produced in these times where there was so much of stress that each of you must have faced. It's a great achievement. So at the time that you are passing and you're anxious about the future, think of the things that you have already achieved in these 5 years. And when you look back at these 5 years, you all will be able to get confidence. You'll be able to be sure of yourself, saying, hey, listen, look, I have done extremely well for all these years. We as collectively come together and we are successful for all these years. And I'm sure this success will pave the way for future success, right? So if you look back at your 5 years and think of all the hard work that you've put in, I think so the future is only going to be better for you. The future is only going to be something which is going to be positive for you, because knowing the hardships of all the 5 years and on top of it the hardships that you have to face in dealing with the pandemic situation, lockdown, all those things, and despite doing your work and then you could come out in flying colors, tells that there is something about you all which is resilient. There is a spirit which is resilient, which is pushing you all ahead, pushing you all looking at the future, and that future is going to be always going to be, I think, something positive. It might not be easy. I'm not saying it's going to be something which is going to be a fairy tale, so to say. It won't. Perhaps it won't be. It will be equally hard and more hard. But with your spirit that you have, you will get going. You will overcome difficulties. You will achieve success. And this is what I'm here to wish all of you. Extremely happy that you all were part of Architecture College. Your contributions to Architecture College, Go College of Architecture is highly appreciated. And I hope that you keep Go College of Architecture the center of your experience of life, and kind of inspire this years of hard work will inspire great future for you all. So just hoping all of you um, who worked hard, who smiled together, who worked in difficult circumstances together, and despite being away from each other right now, I think so you'll have come much more closer. Because sometimes it's not so much as the physical proximity which binds you all, which combines you all, which unites you all in a common spirit, but it is this moment, it is this overcoming of a common factor, a common problem, a common uh, difficulty which binds you all in common spirit. So in that sense, the batch of 2020 is special. And I hope all of you are able to uh, think about each other as a collective, and remember the good times that you've had. And I wish you all the best in your future endeavor, and looking forward to interact with some of you professionals now that you're going to be architects. So the profession is in good hands. That's all I can say. It's in good hands. So all the best, and thank you for having to speak to you. Okay. You're really special. Thank you.